Councillor Gamble.
Present.
Councillor Thompson.
Present.
Councillor Carlton.
Present.
Councillor McQueen.
Present.
Councillor Desai.
Present.
Councillor Patterson is on her way. Warden Hicks.
Here.
Councillor Clumpus. Councillor Keaveney. Councillor Boddy. Councillor O'Leary.
Here.
Councillor DeBreen. Councillor Millen.
Present.
Councillor Soever.
Present.
Councillor Bartnicki.
Present.
Councillor Robinson.
Present.
Councillor Hutchinson.
Present.
Excellent. Council, do we have any declaration of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we'll proceed. We have some minutes. Item 6A, County Council Committee of the Whole minutes dated May 9th. Could I get a mover, please, for those minutes? Moved by Councillor Clumpus, seconded by Councillor Milne. Any discussion with respect to those minutes? I call the question. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? That's carried. Thank you. And item 6B, Long-Term Care Committee of Management minutes. Just to put it on the floor for now, could I get a mover, please? Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Keaveney, excuse me. Councillor Mackey, I believe you were going to give us a bit of an update.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Certainly, I can. We had a really good meeting at the May 14th Long-Term Care Committee. We did have some action items that we're bringing forth to County Council today, and that is for the redevelopment of Rockwood. We're moving, or hope to move forth with an inventory list of properties that are available in West Grey. So county staff are going to meet with staff from West Grey. The application process is still pending. Lynn told me this morning it's imminent based on her conversations with the ministry, so we're hoping the new application process will be available shortly. So Long-Term Care Committee is going at this in two phases. We have Rockwood, the redevelopment there, which is time sensitive based on the 2025, and then Grey Gables, which we have a little bit more time. So we're biting off each individually. There is we're asking for a report to come back for Grey Gables to tell us what the right number of beds would be to approach the province for. So we have to look at, how many additional beds can the current laundry services, the current kitchen, can they accommodate? Status quo is the baseline, so we're starting at 66 and then finding out what an additional 32 or an additional to take us up to 128, I guess it'd be 62 beds would be. So that's the process that the committee is undertaking. So we have some bringbacks from our staff. They're going to need some time to work in conjunction with Sienna to get that information back. But we're trying to get the redevelopment costs for Rockwood and then also report back on Grey Gables. So that will be coming. So the work has started. And we'll try to answer any questions, Mr. Warden, if there are, but I'll probably be referring them over to the senior staff. Well, that's good.
Councillor McQueen. Councillor McQueen.
Thank you, Mr. Warden and County Council, and thanks to the committee of moving forward with those items. I know that County Council has been looking forward to those motions coming forward. You also mentioned in there about a letter being sent to the province.
Certainly during our meeting, it was brought up that a letter should be sent to the Premier thanking him for his attendance at Grey Gables. So we did talk about it. I don't know whether that letter, I'm hoping that letter is going to be sent, just with an update on the work that both Grey County is doing at Grey Gables and at Rockwood.
And with the council's acceptance of these minutes, then we'll move forward on the actions on the agenda.
Councillor McQueen.
Well, thank you for that, and just to follow up that was certainly important for the Premier to come out and certainly see Grey Gables on February 2nd, Groundhog Day, and I keep reiterating that it will be a great opportunity when he comes out and does that shovel thing when we do expand Grey Gables, sort of like Groundhog Day, a reappearance of the Premier. Also, the other item is with regards to moving forward, that's great. Sienna, I guess two things with Sienna. The approval from the province in the sense of them doing the management part of our long-term care. I know we're waiting on that information for the province to approve that. And secondly, at some time, I mentioned before, Sienna sort of maybe doing a presentation to county council, so sort of updating us as county council, how things are, we're 6-8 months into their management process, and there may be, one is information for new county councillors, but also there may be some questions too, so.
Sure. So we intend to provide further updates to the Committee of Management at their next meeting on June the 11th. So we'll ensure that those points are discussed as part of that.
So to bring forward with regards to a presentation to the county council and also a follow-up from the
That's-
province on that
that's-
approval.
That's correct.
Okay. We haven't heard anything up until now, basically.
We are bringing back a discussion with regard to the management contract to the June 11th meeting.
Anyone else? I call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. Thank you very much. We have no bylaws, so we move on to item 8, good news and celebrations. Councillor Soever.
Yes, I'd like to report that the Georgian Bay Community School Special Olympic track team competed in Toronto on May 14th to May 17th at the Special Olympic Invitational Competition at the University of Toronto. And there are 3 members of the team, Trent Everett from Thornbury, Katie Fairburn from Markdale, and Torben Edgington from Meaford. So Grey County was well represented, and they all did well. Trent got 2 gold medals and a bronze, and the others also placed well. So I think a great representation from the Grey County.
You.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I have 2 items. The first, of course, is that our inaugural flight is coming into Wyerton-Campbell International Airport on Friday afternoon, so we're looking forward to that. And the other thing is, a young lady, Georgian Bluffs youth, Isley Graham, has won a trio of awards at the Canada-wide Science Fair and will represent the country at an international competition next May. And she wrote about piping plovers and Sable Beach, so she has done very well, and we're quite proud of her.
So that is important that we point out that there will be that first flight from Toronto to the Wyerton Airport on Friday.
Yes, it will leave Toronto at 2 and arrive about 40 minutes later, and then there are 7 people actually booked on the flight going back down.
Excellent. And the good news about flying from Wyerton is that you can get on the plane, you can show up 15 minutes before the flight and be in downtown Toronto 40 minutes later. That's pretty incredible. That is good news. Anyone else? Councillor Boddy?
Just a celebration, Counselor, Owen Sound Attack graduate Jordan Bennington, of course, is heading to the Stanley Cup Finals. Dersey, Suzuki, Phillips, and Roberts are heading into the playoffs of the Memorial Cup. Unfortunately, the Attack don't have any graduates on the Raptors. It's a different size and shape somehow, but we're cheering for them all.
Very good. Anyone else? Councillor Keaveney?
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I just thought it would be appropriate to mention that the Apple Pie Trail Cider Fest is upcoming. Considering this area produces 25% of Ontario's apples, we can truly say cider grows here. So this is the chance to taste them all during the 2nd annual Apple Pie Trail Cider Fest, June the 7th to 16th. 10 days of hard cider and food pairings, taking folks from Duntroon to Blue Mountain, through the Beaver Valley, into Thornbury and Meaford. And you can purchase a passport that can take you to the 7 cider stops for $30 for a weekday or $50 for a 7-day pass. So hope folks will enjoy that. Thank you.
Excellent. And I just want to mention that on Sunday, I had the opportunity to visit beautiful Meaford on that Ghost Church tour. It was really neat to see the local stories and to drive around and visit those old locations. Most of the churches were no longer there, but there were tents set up and people talking about the history of the churches in the area. That was fascinating and interesting, and an opportunity to see just how gorgeous a municipality you live in. I'm really jealous of that scenery that you have there. So bravo on that. Anything else? Wonderful. Then I look for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Mackey, seconded by Councillor Desai. All those in favor? That passes.